because of this time of year, of course. So I'm ready to do something, anything.
Well, great, because you know what you can do? Tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m., Eggs and Issues at the Iowa Central Bio.
8:30, that's right.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
We'll be there. Tim and I will be there.
8:30, did you say?
Yep, 8:30 a.m. And Randy Feenstra will be there as well, our
Randy will
congressman.
be there.
Yep.
7:15, you can have breakfast with Randy and I, and maybe Ann will join us at the Community Christian School. It is a pancake breakfast. And so we'll be showing up there at 7:15.
7:15. Okay.
I will be showing up there at 10 o'clock. I'm going to have pancakes after the forum, not before.
Do we need to buy a couple of hooded sweatshirts for Ann that say Iowa Hawkeyes on them? What is this Michigan stuff she's got on over
here? We've talked about that before.
Oh, yeah. She just said, well, I suppose she's under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I'm under a lot of pressure at home.
Under a lot of pressure at home. Well, that's okay. Where did you see Jake's going? Your son's going to Northwest Missouri State or Northeast?
He's close to the campus of Truman, but he's actually at A.T. Still University, which is the graduate school. He's in a graduate biomedical science program right now, and he graduates in May, but he will be entering med school in the same school in July, and that's where Jim graduated as well.
Oh, it is really?
Yep.
Okay, all right. I suppose you've paid for all your college tuition that you want to pay for over there, Senator.
Oh yeah, I'm done.
Oh, I don't think so.
Unless I go back.
He's probably contributing to his grandkids'
yeah.
college now.
$13 a month.
I just got a rude text. Go blue.
We pay our doctors too much if he takes time off just to listen to this.
I guess we do.
You know, that's a sad deal.
Oh, God, we had to investigate the Medicare payment.
No kidding. Did we get charged for that text?
Probably did.
No, I'm going to get a text. Just watch.
Okay. Senator Kreinbrink and Representative Meyer are really here to answer your questions. I mean, that's in part. We will discuss what's happening down at the State House. That's why they're here primarily, is to let us know what's been going on with certainly the two representatives here. But they are here to answer questions as well. And as you just heard Representative Meyer said, tomorrow morning, 8:30 Bioscience Building, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. That'll be important as well. So my number here is 955-1400, 955-1400. If you have a question or comment for Representative Meyer or Senator Kreinbrink. I had Governor Reynolds on the air with me yesterday.
I heard you did. I didn't hear it because I was still in Des Moines, but
yeah.
What time was that?
I think it was 3:10, right after the news.
Because she was supposed to be on. I was here with the lieutenant governor.
Yeah, I had him on briefly as well.
Yeah, and she got called back to
Des Moines.
Des Moines for something, but she was supposed to actually be here at the
Growth Alliance.
Growth Alliance. Yeah, so there was a good turnout there, and Lieutenant Governor did a great job. So
of course, yeah.
Of course, there was no mention of me being there.
Yeah, I saw that. You were snubbed.
Actually, I could see there was room for me in the picture, but they must have photoshopped me out. And that's a big Photoshop.
You're just totally dissed.
It's a lot of whiteout.
No respect. I tell you, I get no respect.
That's okay. That way you can't get blamed either.
What was the gist of the meeting with the Growth Alliance?
I know.
Basically, he just went over the priorities of the governor. Basically, the state of the state address. Just kind of went over the major priorities of what the governor wants to accomplish this year in the legislature. So well received, some good questions afterwards. I was allowed to talk a little bit, and it was kind of nice because tomorrow we're going to have, I think, 8 of us there at the
8. Wow.
Yeah, I think Phil Thompson's coming up, and Rob Bacon, and
Rob Bacon will not be there. So if you're coming to see Rob Bacon, he had another event pop up.
So there's seven of us that are going to be there, along with Randy Feenstra, Congressman Feenstra. And so I said, me sharing a microphone with 8 other people is just hard. And I was just glad that the governor didn't show up. So it's just Lieutenant Governor, and we had all the time in the world to talk. So
I can't believe it. You two come in the studio, and I've already gotten a text from Dr. Meyer and Randy Feenstra. Actually, it's his media guy. He's got a new media guy. I don't know this guy, but I was off last month because my son had COVID, and I was trying to take care of
Yep.
things for him. And I had an appointment scheduled with Congressman Feenstra set up, so he would be on, I don't know, twice a month or something. But
Right.
we got away from it. So
His new media guy is Michigan Wolverine.
is he really?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to talk to Feenstra about that.
Here we are funding out of state.
Out of state.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's right. So the governor, of course, wants to cut taxes. And we talked about it last week. And I suppose we're going to talk about it every single Friday that you guys are here. And I know you're going to hear about it tomorrow, too, as far as the tax cuts. I had my friends on from Common Good, Iowa, of course, and they're wonderful people. They are definite liberal people. Dr. Peter Fisher is an economist emeritus at the University of Iowa. And he was particularly concerned about Governor Reynolds' position that she'd like to end the income tax in 5 years. Are both of you on board with that idea?
I don't really know how
Did she make that statement?
the plan is
5
going to
years?
work. I thought we were going down to
4%.
in
Yeah.
in that
Right
period
now,
of
yeah,
time.
but I think
No,
Well,
not right
no.
now. That's over several years.
Yes.
okay, that's over several years.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I'll have to go back and check. But I was pretty sure that
Actually,
she told
this-
me yesterday.
Actually, the Senate is the one that wants zero income tax, whether it takes us 5 years or 7 years or 10 years to do it. We want to make Iowa one of those states that people come to. Just like one of the things that all of us are in favor of is getting rid of the taxation of retirement pensions. So if you're an IPERS employee, or if you've got a Cargill pension, or if you've got a Friskies pension and you're receiving a monthly benefit off of that, that is not considered part of your Iowa income tax. So this is why we have a lot of the people that are receiving larger pensions that go and they move 6 months and 1 day down to Texas or to Florida, is because they don't pay income tax on that benefit.
Right.
Now they pay federal tax, which is larger than state tax,
Yeah, always.
but they wouldn't pay any state tax on it. One of the things that I think we have to understand, and I don't know if I think Ann's heard me say this, but the state of Iowa, and the other party, they said this is just going to be a tax cut for the rich. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a joint income that's over $78,400 net joint income, you're in the highest tax bracket of the state of Iowa, which is 8.53%.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can even bring it down to 4% or 3.6, like, we want to go an extra year and pull it down another 0.4%. So we're on board all the way down to 4, like the House, but we would like to go another year and do 3.6%. And then if we can continue to go, but think of that, if you make $100,000 as a joint couple together, and that's, you get 2 teachers, or,
Mm-hmm.
a teacher and someone that works for a couple,
somewhere else, that's not a big
they're going to
salary.
make that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are taking the difference between a 8.53% tax on that money versus a 4, that's $4,000.
Yeah.
Of difference that's going to be in your pocket by the end of the year. And these are people that if they call them rich, if you're calling those people rich, which I say they're middle class, like all of us are, this tax cut is not for the rich. It's for everybody in the state of Iowa that pays taxes. So
let me ask a question on behalf of we poor people who just have 401ks. What about the 401k people out there? No, we're going to get hosed by the state
not
and federal.
hosed. That's why if we could get it down to
Why
zero, then you don't have to worry about it anyway.
Why?
Right?
Why withhold?
I don't have a pension other than my small IPERS, because we don't make that much in what we're doing down there. So our IPERS
I thought you were loaded. You and Meyer both.
Our IPERS pension is not going to be large, because
I know.
It's $25,000 a year is what we
Right.
make, and
so why were the 401k people excluded?
Because it's not a pension. 401ks aren't pensions. Pension is a defined amount that you're going to be getting every month.
That's not available in the private sector in most
I know,
cases.
I know it
either.
is. I know it is.
So
but if
you're
we can
doing
take-
something.
but
Let,
if-
let me finish, Tim.
Okay.
You're doing something for the public employees primarily, and the public employees are a main pillar of the Democratic Party, and they always want to cut you guys' head off.
You would be surprised how many Cargills and Friskies and
Professional
Yeah.
employees, yeah.
But well, everybody that works there, there's not just the management. It's everybody has. The majority of them have defined benefit packages.
Okay.
So they will get a pension. They have the choice to get a pension. So, but what would help us, Mike, is that if for us, those of us that have 401ks like myself,
You have one?
oh yeah, I'm self-employed. So
Okay.
so if we have 401ks and we can lower the tax burden in the state of Iowa from 8.53 to 4 or to 3 or to 2, that is our way of not paying taxes on our 401k. We still have to pay it federally. You still have to pay federal tax, and so do the people with their pensions. We're not saying they don't have to pay federal tax. We're just saying they don't have to pay Iowa tax.
Okay. All right. How about you over there, Ann? Do you want to weigh in on this, or did he just say it all to the big guy?
He really just summed it up pretty
He's the
well.
appropriations guy, isn't he?
And that's why I appreciate he has definitely a better understanding of the tax system than I do, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me play devil's advocate for you here a little bit. I'll repeat
Well,
what
that's
Peter.
new.
Well, it's what brings out the best in the whole program. No, I'll just repeat to you again what Dr. Fisher had to say. In other words, the other side of this argument is that if we get rid of the income tax, that's nearly half the revenue the state takes in. And how will we pay teachers? How will we pay for a lot of things if half the tax revenue, is gone over a period of 5 years or 7 or whatever?
Well, again, Tim can speak to this a little bit better than I have, but in our caucus, what we're talking about is that because of the budgeting that's gone on in the last, particularly 5, 6, 7, 8 years, we have significant ending balances. All of the pots of money are full, and the taxpayer relief fund is full. And if we have that much of an ending balance, this is just my understanding, if we have that much of an ending balance, we need to stop taking in so much from the taxpayer and let them keep their own money. People can spend their money better than the government can, without a doubt.
Another thing that's going to happen, Mike, is it's going to force us to have a discussion about tax credits. So right now we give out millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars each year on tax credits for different things. And I've always said that, we try to attract corporations here to the state, and I've always said it's like Halloween. They know that we're going to give away the biggest candy bar if we can get them here, and so by doing that, we give them tax credits. So we lure them here by not having them pay taxes. Well, some of that, if we can lower the tax rate even to our corporations and the people that are working in these places, we lower the tax rate so we don't have to give so much away for them to come. That creates the revenue that we're giving away. Okay, are you following me?
I am following.
So it's a little more complicated, and it's gonna, if we're serious about doing this, and this is what Iowans, if this is what they want to do, we can do it without changing the amount of revenue that we have coming in. We just have to reposition it in a way that it goes to everybody, back to everybody, versus just a select corporations that we want to come to Iowa so bad that we're giving the big candy bar out to them.
Isn't that what happened with that Amazon warehouse down in the Des Moines area?
Some of it, that's some
Yeah.
of it. We have employers in Iowa that get zero tax credits that have some of the largest employment bases in our whole state, and we're giving them nothing. And we're trying to attract other companies to come in that have a 16th of the amount of workers, and we're giving them big tax rebates. If I was the one that had the most employees and wasn't getting anything, I'd be a little upset.
Yeah, I would be.
I mean, but they're doing fine. But we just have to have a better, more even playing field, and this gives us the opportunity to have that discussion. So I know it's heavy. I know there's a lot of people say, "Well, how can we have zero tax? What are we going to do?" Well, even like Ann said, yeah, we have put ourselves in a good position to start this, but that isn't going to sustain it forever. We have to do more, and we have to force other conversations to sustain a low or zero tax rate in the state of Iowa. Remember, We're only talking about your Iowa income tax.
Mhm.
We have nothing to do
with feds,
with your
yeah.
federal
Right.
income tax.
Yeah, the feds are too greedy. They'll never let us out. Get your boot off my neck. No.
But you know what? We are losing a lot of people, Mike, that goes to different states that live there for 6 months and 1 day, and they are moving there, and they still come back and live in Iowa for a long period of time. But we're losing all their money that they spend while they're down there, and property tax, whatever. We're losing that just because we're not competitive in the personal tax and the corporate tax rates.
couple of years, you'll be down in Texas, won't
No,
you?
Nope. I'll be living in your house.
You'll be living in my house? Yeah, sure.
You got an extra bedroom.
A couple, actually, but I don't think you can get into them. All right. Again, Ann, I'm going to give you a chance. We're going to talk healthcare in the next half hour.
Great.
Really like to know what you're doing in that area. But
Absolutely.
most people are concerned about appropriations. I mean,
Absolutely. And they should be.
and they are. We're an older population. I don't think that's
Mhm.
any surprise, but we do have to have healthcare is very, very important in our area and in our state.
It's the second biggest part of our budget.
Right.
Right now, I mean, Health and Human Service is a $2 billion budget.
Wow. Is
This-
that all state revenue? $2
Yes.
billion. All of it comes
Yeah,
from the state.
Yes.
That's our dime.
Mm.
And it's like education. I think education is how much?
56%.
Yeah, which
And
is
I don't know
which
what the
is
number
4.5 billion probably.
Right.
So that's education, and second would be Health and Human Services.
All right, let's go to the phones. Hello. This is AM 1400 KVFD. You're on the air with Senator Kreinbrink and Representative Meyer.
Yeah, Mike. Hey, thanks to Tim and Ann for their leadership. Much appreciated. But Tim, could you tell us why the 401ks will be taxed when the other pensions are not?
Yeah, I'll have to look at that, but that was not included. It was only pension income. So I'll look at it a little bit more, and that doesn't mean we can't. The way that we're going to get the 401ks not taxed or lower taxed is to lower the state income tax. If we lower the state income tax down to zero, then 401k income would not be taxed either for the state, but it's still going to be taxed for the federal government.
I think they're trying to make sure that they get plenty of contributions around election time to the Democratic Party, which is insane as far as I'm concerned.
No, that's a good question, and I know who you are, so I can get back to you. I can get back to you on a reason with that. So.
Okay. Hey, one other quick question. I'm a big proponent of daylight savings time.
Mm.
Oh, you like
Why-
daylight
why
savings
is-
time?
Why is Sexton wanting to do away with that?
Why are you?
You know what? And I'll answer that a little bit because I talk to him all the time about it. And you know what? I'm kind of a proponent of it as well. I love getting the extra hour in the fall, but I hate losing that extra hour in April when it's time to spring forward. There are a lot of different reasons. One of the things we hear from teachers is
The kids.
it's hard on the kids having to adjust their schedules like that.
Well, why not go to, like, some states are looking at going to daylight savings time permanently.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah,
That's really what he's
that is what he's talking about. So
I thought he said he was going to do away with daylight savings time.
Well, you would still have to stick on an hour, and I think he would choose the daylight savings time.
yes.
Sir, you like daylight savings time? Sir, are you on drugs? Just curious.
He likes golf time,
Golf time?
sports time. Just
Oh,
keep it that way
That
all year
daylight
round.
savings time adds an extra hour out.
Honestly, I think what Mike's probably listening, I think he's more worried about his sheep. I think his sheep have a hard time
I
adjusting.
worry about Mike's sheep all the time.
But no, you're right. I guess I don't have a feeling either way on it.
I would love to keep just a stable time all year round. I agree with you in the summertime. I'd like to have it lighter late. Some people
Absolutely.
though,
Absolutely. So
there's some moms out there though that don't like that because their kids have to go to the bus stop in the dark. So that's the other side of the story, but I like it light out later.
Yeah, I agree, because it just gives us more time to spend with our, recreationally, or
Yep.
spend with our families outdoors, et cetera,
Yep.
et cetera.
Yep.
And so thanks for that.
It'd be bad if we had to move to Sweden for the summertime, just to have 10 hours of light time, right?
Hey, thank you for
Sure.
your call, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, it's 3:31. This is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. This program brought to you, as always, by Blue Ribbon Pelham Waters. Blue Ribbon Pelham Waters is at 612 South 32nd Street here in Fort Dodge. You may contact Blue Ribbon Pelham Waters by calling 576-6481 or online at www.fdwater.com. Senator Kreinbrink and Representative Meyer will be back after this break.
At Jim's Carpet One, we're here to floor you by always offering exceptional service and competitive pricing. For a limited time, you can save like never before during our flooring blowout on all types of flooring, including over 10,000 square feet of newly discounted luxury vinyl. Hi, this is Stacy with Jim's Carpet One. Come and see our beautiful options and learn about our special financing so you can bring home a floor your wallet and your whole family will love. Come and see us at Jim's Carpet One across from Decker Truck Line.
The basement looks great. What did you do with all the paint cans and all the
No, don't open the closet.
junk?
I told you not to open it.
You shoved it in the closet?
Don't shove it. Haul it to the North Central Iowa Regional Solid Waste Agency. When you finally get around to cleaning out your cupboards, closets, basement, shed, or garage, bring any hazardous materials you find to the Household Hazardous Materials Collection Center, and they'll help you dispose of them properly. To schedule an appointment, just give them a call or get more details online at ncirswa.org.
Why just listen to the Divine Intervention Show when you can watch it? The Blue Ribbon Pelham Water Studio is now streaming video. Check out the show Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. on our Facebook video stream.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
When winter winds start to blow, be prepared with the Winter Weather Advisor on KVFD. We'll keep you informed on hazardous driving conditions, delays, and cancellations. The Winter Weather Advisor is brought to you by Riley Armstrong Plumbing and Heating. Plumbing and sewer emergencies don't usually happen during normal business hours. Relax knowing Riley Armstrong Plumbing and Heating is there for you 24/7. Take the worry out of winter with the Winter Weather Advisor on the voice of Fort Dodge, AM 1400 KVFD.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
I'm Josh Mason, KVFD News. The Warden Plaza in downtown Fort Dodge is back up for sale, now listed with the Des Moines Real Estate Company. This after years of sitting empty with none of the promised results accomplished by its current owners. The city of Fort Dodge transferred ownership of the building to KDG LLC of Columbia, Missouri in April of 2017. Fort Dodge Mayor Matt Bemrick discussed the issue yesterday on KVFD.
I don't believe we would pay them anything to take that building back. 7 council members could say, you know what, we want it back because we want to figure out where to go next with this building. So pay them and let's move on and get them out of here. Or they could say, no, we're not paying. And I'm not going to speculate on what those 7 people would agree to do.
Since the time of transfer, the Warden Plaza's potential has continued to dwindle away. The property assessed value is at a little over $77,000, and the yearly taxes are just a little over $2,500 a year. The property is listed with CBRE of Des Moines with a price tag of $1.3 million. A Webster City man has been sentenced to over a decade in federal prison after pleading guilty to possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, 35-year-old Joshua Boyce was sentenced Monday in federal court in Sioux City for the charges stemming from a couple of traffic stops, the first occurring in March of 2020. At that time, police say he was pulled over for suspected driving under the influence. Once he was pulled over, officers say Boyce admitted to using meth and marijuana before work that day. A further search of his vehicle turned up needles, pills, marijuana, and meth. Then on October 18th, 2020, Boyce was pulled over in Ames, where police say they found drug paraphernalia, nearly $5,000 cash, a firearm, and a lot of meth. Boyce is said to have possessed
tested for antibiotic residues. Ruby says the company's fully natural products offer another solution to the call for more sustainable food production. I'm Amy Simpson with Healthy Living on Brownfield.
As a truck driver, I've learned how important road safety is. I know that large trucks need more time and room to stop. That's why I always hang back and follow other vehicles at a safe distance. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're driving, try to remember to always give trucks extra space when you merge in front of them. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Hi, I'm Adam. Lauren, my wife, was having trouble moving. Then her speech was slurred and her face drooped. A stroke seemed so unlikely. She was only 30. I had to react immediately. I called 911 and Lauren quickly received medical attention. Now we don't take anything for granted, especially spending time together as a family. Looking back, I'm so grateful I didn't hesitate to call 911. A quick reaction can make all the difference. Learn signs of stroke. Visit strokeawareness.com.
Sponsored by Genentech and NAEMT.
Michael Devine.
You're very clever, my charming little friend.
With more stimulating talk radio.
But not clever enough.
Not clever enough is right. AM 1400 KVFT, the voice for Dodge. I'm Michael Devine, and in studio with us, Senator Tim Kreinbrink and Representative Ann Meyer. And of course, if you would like to question or comment either of our representatives, you can call now at 955-1400, 955-1400. Don't forget as well that Eggs and Issues is tomorrow out to Iowa Central Community College in the Bioscience building. So I don't think there can be any complaint about a lack of transparency because they're here now and they'll be at Iowa Central tomorrow morning. If you can get yourself out of bed.
It's also live streamed, I think, too.
Is it live streamed? Well,
Yep, you go to the YouTube, the YouTube Greater Growth Alliance of Fort Dodge page, and they'll be live streaming it through that. So youtube.com, and then go to the Greater Fort Dodge Growth Alliance page.
Greater Fort Dodge.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just go to their page. You'll find it.
Just go to the Growth Alliance page.
On YouTube, though.
Does it
not
say Fort
Facebook.
Dodge? I suppose it says Fort Dodge Growth Alliance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's other growth alliances, as I found out.
Oh, yeah. Used to be the chamber, I think, at one time.
Well, yeah, the Growth Alliance is a combination of the
Right.
Webster County Economic Development and the chamber.
Right.
But I mean, there's other places around the
Correct.
country that call
that have
themselves-
said the same, that
Yeah,
changed theirs to the
changed
same
theirs,
thing. Yeah.
which makes sense. No sense having two. But anyway, Ann Meyer, I'd like to talk with you. Tim gave a great explanation of what's happening. As far as appropriations are concerned, we could go all day with appropriations, I suppose, but
No, we don't want to do that.
Only an accountant would love that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not an accountant.
So I chair human resources,
You
which is
chair,
health
right.
policy.
There
And
we
so
go.
I'd like to, we have been super busy. I think we've run 24 bills through committee so far. The main bills that I'm really concerned with and proud of, based on the work that both of us have done with our local officials during the interim, with
Mhm.
the hospital, with Berry Hill, with sheriff, with Roger Porter, and DHS, is the mental health bills that we introduced. So it's a 5-prong approach. So first of all, we have to have more providers.
Okay.
We can't increase access if we don't have providers in Iowa, right? So the first bill increases, it directs University of Iowa to increase the medical residencies for psychiatry by 12. And they're going to be based at University of Iowa, but they're going to rotate through the mental health institutes. So Cherokee, Independence, Oakdale, the forensic, and then talking with Director Garcia, we'd also like them to rotate through Glenwood and Woodward as
Okay.
well. So we've got the areas for them to do the training. We had a great meeting with University of Iowa docs and the medical education committee. Dr. Clancy runs that, the psychiatry part of that. And he said, the issues would be accreditation, because we have to have enough need to serve that many patients in the state. And so I was a little concerned when he said that, and he goes, and we have plenty of need. And so there will not be a problem establishing those residencies. We're giving them a little bit of flexibility in the language just for accreditation, which means that they're not just going to spend time at the MHIs. They're also going to rotate through family practice and internal medicine, the same thing they have to do, because not only do they have to take care of psychiatry, they also have to take care of medical problems as well. They are physicians. So I'm excited about that. That will be started in should it pass, it'll be started in 2024, because we literally have to take a year to get the programs accredited.
Right.
And
do you believe it will pass?
I do. I know it will pass in the House. Everyone's supportive of it. I believe that my colleagues in the Senate realize that every one of their districts are also short of mental health providers. I spoke with my counterpart in the Senate, and we've been working together on this for the last year and a half, and he agrees with that.
Well, the Senate's full of old, rich white guys who want to oppress people and keep us poor, and that.
They are hearing the same thing that we are hearing from our law enforcement and their emergency rooms, where they're keeping patients, and it's a cost to them, and the patients are not getting treatment. I completely agree. Prevention's the best. Preventing crisis situations are the best, but we're not doing that. We still have people on the streets that need help. So that's
and let's not forget, the Democrats always like to point at Republicans and say, well, you're not helping this one or that one. We're all human beings. We all have problems. We'll have problems in our families, perhaps.
Yep.
I mean, Governor Branstad has talked rather openly about his son Eric having problems years ago that had tragic results, as a matter of fact.
Mhm.
And Eric turned out to be a fine young man, and I'm glad. But every family in the state of Iowa probably is affected one way or another by some mental health problems, addiction problems, or they know somebody, or it's a big deal. It's not just in Republicans want something done. Or I should say, they want to help people be their best self.
I don't think there's anybody that doesn't want to help people, whether it's Democrat or
what
Republican.
I'm talking about.
I know, but that shouldn't be something that should be drug into the political world, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not something that you have to blame one side or the other.
No.
Mental health is something that can pop up in a second that wasn't even visible before, and for us to predict that is impossible. And so there are going to be situations that pop up and say, well, why didn't you do something about that? Well, you can't stop everything. And when you get up in the morning and someone just does something crazy and they've never had any inkling before to do it, you can't predict that. And so we just have to be able to deal with it if and when that does happen in the most effective way, but also try to prevent as much as we possibly can. And I think that's what Ann's saying is, we at some point, we talked about this morning in a meeting we were at, we have to stop playing defense. Not that we have to stop playing it, but if we can stop playing defense and put more of the players on offense, so we can prevent some of the later stuff that happens, that should be Iowa and America's goal is, let's play offense and prevent some of this stuff, rather than always dealing with the aftermath, which is always messy and expensive.
Yeah.
And this first bill passed through sub and regular committee without any opposition. To your point, I did read some not opponents, but just people saying that, well, it's just a drop in the bucket. It's not a drop in the bucket. It's a huge program. Secondly, we are increasing the loan repayment program for professionals, for physicians, nurse practitioners, PAs, and therapists. We'll offer them tuition reimbursement over a 5-year period. And hopefully, once they have that 5 years in Iowa, they'll put down their roots and they will continue to practice in Iowa. Thirdly, we have a lot of patients out there that have complex needs. So it's not just, it could be a violent patient. It could be a substance abuse. It could be both.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition, they could have an intellectual disability. Maybe they're have some degree of autism or another disability. Those are complex patients that require higher intensity. So it's very much like if you're in the hospital and you're in a hospital bed on 3 North, or you're in a hospital bed and you're in the ICU. There's a different level of care. And right now in Iowa, we only have one level of reimbursement. So we're directing DHS to work with the health systems to develop a rate that we can treat these patients in the hospitals We have hospitals out there that have empty beds. In fact, we met with the systems and all of the health systems and DHS on our bed tracking yesterday morning.
Mhm.
And at that time, there were 45 beds available. Okay, I said, so what if I've got 2 people over in Fort Dodge that are violent or suicidal? Well, we probably don't have the staff to take care of those patients right now. If we work on this reimbursement level, they will be able to staff those beds appropriately. That's the issue. That's the
Mhm.
issue. So that's the third part of it, and then the fourth part of it is increasing some beds at the MHIs, Cherokee Independence. That's going to need a little work. We've heard from the department. We've heard from governor's staff. We're going to work on the best way to do that, and that might be contracting out with the health systems to do that for us.
Mhm.
But we need to open those beds within the next 6 to 8 months. And why is it going to take that long? Because we have to hire. I mean, we don't have enough workforce.
Will
So
we have enough workforce? I guess that's the big question.
well,
I keep thinking of Western Iowa. There's not there's not a lot of people out there anymore.
there's not, and
There's
that's
not a lot of people where we live either.
But that's kind of what the loan forgiveness program is targeted at.
exactly.
It's
and
underserved areas. So,
Yes.
we're not going to forgive somebody's loan for going to Waukee.
or Iowa City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well, I'm glad that came out. Yeah.
This more has to be the loan forgiveness comes when we have people that would like to participate and move to an underserved area, which is exactly what you're talking about.
There's something
Which
to be
Fort
said-
Dodge is
Yeah.
qualifies for.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's something to be said for living in Iowa. I mean, you saw the light and got away from all that blue stuff, and Ann. And I see it's still in you, but
Yeah, she isn't totally weaned off of
I
it
don't
yet.
think so. I think again,
Maybe you should buy
a
her
lot
a
of
s-
pressure at home. I
Maybe
think.
you should buy her a sweatshirt.
I'm gonna buy her. What's your size, Ann?
Medium.
Medium.
Well, she
So-
might be moldable.
So I do feel that we made some significant process. Again, no bill starts in its original form and gets to the governor's desk. We've worked on all of these bills so far and adjusted them a little bit to make them work with the department and the governor.
Mhm.
We want to make sure everyone is on board with this. This is not done in a vacuum. I can't just go in and write bills for multi-million-dollar programs. Everyone has to be on board with it. So our leadership is on board with it. In fact, he suggested the original numbers. Governor is on board with everything. She's not on board with the technical part of the beds, but she's on board with it. We're going to find some solutions working together with her staff to open those beds.
Mhm.
So I think that's probably the most important thing my committee is doing this year.
Okay.
And I'm very proud of that, and I'm grateful to the work that Senator has put in on this over the interim too. I mean, we've been really meeting with everyone and working hard to develop some solutions.
Really proud of you for working on that, Ann. I don't think I've made any secret of my problems with addiction in my younger days, and there were people there that helped me along. Tim probably still thinks I'm in the gutter, but I'm not. Talk show host doesn't cut it with Tim Kreinberg.
Certain days.
You got to be from Paulina.
Yeah, there you
know
go.
Anything.
We're also, we've also heard childcare is still an issue. So the House has passed several bills through committee this week that address loosening up some regulations and allowing
By that you mean certainly you're still focused on licensing daycare providers, so we don't get.
Oh no.
lunatics.
I'm sorry. Those are not the regulations I'm talking about.
Okay.
Governor Reynolds had a child care task force last year, and a lot of recommendations came out of that. One of them was looking at our ratios in the state, and we have increased the ratio from 6 to 7 based on department input. We had originally put the ratio at 1 to 8 in a 2-year-old room, and then it was 8 to 10, 8 per 3-year-old. We brought that up to 10 to 1, and that actually put us in line with 33 other states. So our regulations on the ratios were tight. So we passed that through committee this week. We are allowing 16-year-olds to function in child care centers.
Be employees, you're talking
Be
about.
employees.
All right.
But not in charge of rooms.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still under someone, right?
They're under someone in most rooms, but they will be able to work unsupervised with school age kids. So after school kids or
We want to be
summertime.
careful here because think of what a parent is doing when they take their child to a daycare.
And you know,
The
that's one of the concerns we heard.
The most precious thing they have in the world is their child.
Absolutely.
So we don't want a meth head who managed to pass a test.
You need to pass background checks.
Yes, absolutely.
We didn't change that.
And yep, we'll still be having background checks. The child care center will still be doing training, and these are all voluntary. They're not mandatory. The centers can choose to do this, and then when you think about 16-year-olds, remember that 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds are lifeguards. I mean, I understand that, and then 16-year-olds work in nursing homes and they take care of adult patients, and that is hard work.
It is.
And they're unsupervised in that room taking care
And there's a lot of parents.
But adults aren't, I just want to make the point, adults, even elderly people such as myself, we're not completely helpless. I should say elderly people like Randy Kuhlman.
But definitely
babies or very young children.
There are a lot of dependent.
Yeah, but you're talking different, she's talking school age kids, but there's a lot of parents that will hire a 16-year-old that'll drive over to their house to babysit while the parents go to a movie or out to eat. Or,
I did.
There's a lot of 16-year-olds that are watching children, when the parents are out doing stuff right now. So, like Ann said, it isn't mandatory. We're making it, just a possibility of them to be able to hire when the workforce is so, they still have to fall under the guidance of that facility, and the facility is not going to take a chance on losing their business because they're sued on, for some odd, purposeful, neglective, act.
And the child care.
I just want to make sure we give proper respect to the daycare business.
Oh, we do.
You're just a babysitter. No,
and that's not just it. I mean, the classrooms will still be staffed by adults with the proper training. 16-year-olds will also have the training, but again, they're going to be taking care of school age kids. So school age kids are really not the ones getting education. They're at school. This is an after school or a summer event. So they're not really teaching the kids during that time. They're coordinating activities and, making sure they're safe. And there are a lot of 16-year-olds that are more responsible than some 30-year-olds.
That's right. I mean, it depends on the person.
It depends on the person.
You're right.
So I'm happy about those changes because those are the things we've heard about from business owners.
Yeah.
We need to be able to increase spaces and increase staff. And those are two things that are going to free up some spaces. And if that just gets in one center, 3 extra spots and gets 3 extra families to work.
That's important.
Yeah.
Years and years ago when my own son was just a child, we took him to a daycare center and I didn't like it. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the daycare center. I just didn't like the idea of giving over my son to people who were going to watch him all day. As a matter of fact, my wife and I talked about it. She quit her job and opened a daycare center herself. Of course, she was one of 12 kids off the farm, so they all had to kind of look at it after each other. But I just want everyone to know how important daycare is if you don't already appreciate it. But I'm glad you're working on that. And Tim, I'm glad you're doing your terrific work with the Appropriations Committee. Thank you both for being here. And this is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. Sports is next.
This is Dave Graveline. Be sure to listen to Into Tomorrow right here on the voice of Fort Dodge, AM 1400 KVFD, Fort Dodge.
for over $400,000.
Hi, I'm Amy Sherlaw. I attended the Wholesale Formula seminar to learn how to work from home while raising my son. Today, I do $175,000 in sales per month.
Hi, Ian Bauer. My first year averaged $45,000 a month in sales. Now I'm at $90,000 a month and hardly working.
Hi, I'm Hillary. Before attending the Wholesale Formula seminar, I was a school teacher. Today, I work from home selling products on Amazon.
Whether you have a business and want to sell more on Amazon, retired, or just need extra money, America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost will show you how. Only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. That's right. Discover the easy way to make money on Amazon with Dylan Frost, the Wholesale Formula 2-hour seminar, Tuesday, February 8th. For the greater Fort Dodge area, register at thewholesaleformula.com.
Michael Devine, Nevin Mulholland, and Randy Kuhlman talking sports at AM 1400 KVFD.
All right, this is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice for Dodge. It's Friday, and we're talking sports with Randy Kuhlman, and we even got Nevin Mulholland, by God, to show up here today. How you guys doing?
Good. It's good to have the A team today, right?
It's good to have the A team.
We're not going to go just with the JV. The varsity showed up today.
I can't remember when I've seen a weekend of football like I saw last weekend. What?
Oh, it was
Unbelievable.
If you're a sports fan.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the Buccaneers and Rams game was a great game, one of the best. Certainly, Green Bay and San Francisco was unexpected. But San Francisco did move ahead. The mayor had his San Francisco 49ers hat on in here yesterday. And probably the best game, maybe the best game ever, was Kansas City and the Bills. It didn't go the way I wanted it to, I just didn't have the Bills win. But that's not what happened. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, the last 3 minutes of that game. Did you see that sidearm throw he made for a touchdown? Who throws a pass into the end zone, 25 yards out, 30 yards out for a touchdown, for God's sake?
Underneath the defensive lineman's armpit.
I think all four of those playoff games came down to the last play of the game.
Pretty close.
Unbelievable.
Did the Green Bay
it was a kick.
Field goal.
A field goal.
That's right. It was.
Or no, it was a touchdown.
No, it was
that
Robbie Gould.
Robbie Gould, yeah.
He kicked the field goal.
And Aaron Rodgers was driving the team.
No, it was a touchdown. It was a block punt, wasn't it?
No, it was a field goal by Gould. Do you realize that Robbie Gould has never, ever
missed a
field goal in playoff in a playoff
and
game.
My Bears gave him away.
They let him go.
I know it.
That's
what I said.
They released him. They didn't get anything for him.
No, they let him just go as a free agent. They didn't want to sign him. They didn't want to pay him an extra $1 million.
He is a money kicker. Now he's had some injuries, but he's money. I always loved Robbie.
How old is that guy?
30. He's in his late 30s.
Oh, I would believe.
And you got to remember, he's kicking, in the Central Division, Chicago,
right?
The wind blowing, the snow blowing. That was a perfect day for him up in Green Bay, kicking it through the snowstorm.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
but Rex Ryan, you know Rex Ryan, former coach, and he said on Monday morning after that game that was the best football game he'd ever seen.
I think
this guy's seen a lot of football games in his time. That Kansas City game, unbelievable. I mean, how many touchdowns were scored in the last 4 minutes by both teams? I mean, it was just crazy.
Unbelievable.
I suppose if you were a defensive coordinator, you'd say it was a terrible game because there wasn't much defense in the last 4 minutes.
You feel so helpless.
That's true, yeah.
I do feel sorry for the Bills. What a performance. Josh Allen was.
No one deserved to lose that one.
They really didn't. I mean, Kansas City deserved to win. There's no doubt. They're a great team as well. But I really thought the Bills had it locked up a couple of times. That's what made it such a great game.
When they scored with 13 seconds
you would think that would do it.
I should show you my text and my buddies. I said, this isn't over yet. It just isn't.
It really wasn't. God, I think I went to the bathroom or started to go. I thought, well, I better stay here. And sure enough, Kansas City scores the winning touchdown.
Had it been another team that Kansas City was playing, they probably would have won. But it's the tortured existence of the Buffalo Bills. They're the Iowa State of the pros. I mean, they have had such an unbelievable existence as far as disappointment.
We all remember Buffalo Bills in the 80s went to 4 straight Super Bowls and got beat by 4 different teams.
Yeah,
that's just
Marv Levy, head
That's
coach,
right.
former
Marv
co-college football coach. from Cedar Rapids.
They were playing the Giants that year. I think they got beat by a field goal or something.
Yeah.
Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly,
Jim
yeah.
Kelly was a great quarterback. Thurman Thomas was a running
Right.
back. He was a tough guy.
Oh, they had a great team.
They did.
Yeah, they had a great team.
You know, then their field goal kicker missed a. You know, it was a field goal that easily could have been made one time. I mean, it's just.
Is that what happened?
I
They
think,
lost the game
yeah.
by-
You remember if you would tell me his name, you would know it if I.
The
you
field
know.
goal kicker?
Yes.
For Buffalo.
At some point,
I don't
I
remember.
thought that was in the finals, but maybe it was in the semis, not the Super Bowl. But they've had such crazy things happen to them.
For some reason, this NFL season went by fast for me. I don't know. It was a relatively mild winter. I don't know.
Yeah.
In fall.
Yep.
We got into some nasty stuff here in January, but that's to be expected. But gosh, we got another great weekend. This is the AFC Championship
Yep.
game this weekend.
Both.
The Bengals are in the AFC.
AFC and
Championship.
NFC, both of them.
Yeah, both of them. So the Bengals are playing the
Chiefs.
Chiefs, that's right. That's going to be a tough game. I don't see how. I hope the Bengals win, but I don't see how they're going to.
Chiefs are, I think they're 7-point favorites, aren't
Yeah.
they? Which is kind of high, but
Seems like a lot, but
Yeah.
not. Then again, it's in Kansas City, and
yep.
It's in
but
Kansas
the Bengals
City.
beat them at the end of the year. So you go, whoa, that's a little
And,
stiff.
You know, I've never been to, I've been to a preseason Kansas City Chiefs game. I've never been to a regular one, but
Mhm.
they say it's really loud in there. And that's, you talk about a disadvantage to that visiting team.
I have been to Arrowhead Stadium. It's ridiculous. I took my poor 9-year-old son down to Kansas City to see Joe Montana.
Why would that be poor? What a thrill.
Because I took him down. He wanted to see Joe Montana. He told all his friends in school he was going down to see Joe Montana. And Montana didn't start and didn't play the whole game.
Oh,
Oh,
What a huge bummer.
was it a preseason game?
We were in
or they could have been resting. him
we
at
were
the-
in Busch Stadium in St. Louis when Mark
McGuire.
was sitting at 59, and he got up 5 times and hit some huge foul balls. But
Yeah.
he never hit 60. We got back home and they were playing the Cubs, and he hit 60 or 61 or whatever it was.
Yeah, but I think, you know, with Kansas City at home, it's a real advantage to them for a number of reasons. But boy, it's tough on that opposing team when they got to go on silent counts and all that sort of thing because they
Yeah.
can't hear. You know?
But- And that what makes the Bills' performance last week all that more remarkable offensively, that they were able to be so efficient, so good in that environment. I mean, Josh, this guy Allen's unbelievable.
ridiculous, isn't it?
He's
Was
outstanding.
terrific. Wow. You can't play any better. You throw 9 touchdowns in 2 games
Yeah.
and no interceptions, and you're going home.
And all the running that he does. I mean, goodness, he's
Oh,
a great
terrific.
runner.
We're in an era of great quarterbacks. Now, Matthew Stafford's been around a long time. He
Yep.
played how many years for the Detroit Lions? 13, 14, I don't know.
More than any man should have to.
Yeah,
all losing seasons, I
Yeah.
believe. You know, and
If
I
there's
knew-
any justice.
if there's any justice, the Rams will get in the Super Bowl. with
Right.
Matt Stafford. They really will. But wow, Stafford had a terrific game. Just a
Yep.
terrific
He
game.
had a good game.
And the Rams really stepped up, and
I was glad to see Stafford have that kind of
I
game.
was too.
You know, get that monkey off your back. Now one more.
Yeah.
You know, he deserves that. He was incredibly loyal to the Lions.
Yes, he
and
was.
did so with class, never was complaining or
And
bitching.
he got beat up
Big
time, you know.
Yeah.
I saw him on the sidelines during a Detroit Lions game. I swear to God, his elbow was dislocated, and he kept saying, "I'm going in. I'm going in. Send me back in, coach."
No, I really admire him and the way
Tough
he's
guy.
carried himself all these years.
Tough guy, a lot of
And
class.
the guy that amazes me for the Rams is Cooper Kupp. I mean, this guy is
Wow.
outstanding.
Where did he come from?
Eastern Washington.
Eastern in Spokane?
I don't know where that's
I think
at.
it is Spokane.
I think it is too.
That's
yeah.
the same
Eastern.
place as Gonzaga.
Yes, it is.
They're in
Oh,
the
yeah.
same town, are they?
Yeah,
Okay.
Eastern Washington.
Are they in the same town?
Yes, Gonzaga. and,
Okay. Okay.
Gonzaga and Eastern Washington. A friend of mine from high school, I'm always talking about. His wife worked at Eastern Washington
Okay.
with Rachel Dozel. Now, there's a name from the past. Remember Rachel Dozel? She's a white girl.
Oh,
who kept
yeah.
saying she was black.
So
Why not?
she identified as black.
She
but,
identified as black.
Yeah, but Cooper Kupp's had an unbelievable year. Matter of fact, many people feel like he should be in the running for MVP. Although I think
who are you talking about for MVP?
Cooper Kupp. And I love his name. What a great name.
Well, you know what? And again, a class act, by the way. You watch this guy interview, humble, down to earth, unassuming, and he is really good. I've never seen him drop a pass.
No.
Not like I watch the Rams every week, but boy.
But his ability, his yards after catch are amazing, because he's sneaky fast because when you look at him, you just don't think maybe he's all that fast. But he's running by people, he's breaking tackles, and he's outstanding. So, and then they gave a whole new life to OBJ, Odell Beckham, because he was kind of on his way down and out.
He was in this game,
and he played extremely well, and he's been a big pickup for them late in the season because they lost their outstanding receiver named Woods. And they picked up Beckham, and he's just picked up where Woods left off. So, and they've got a great defense. It's funny that the record, when you look at the talent on paper of that team, you wonder how they, lost five or six games or whatever they did lose, including getting beat by San Francisco in the last game of the season.
Which is an interesting deal in that Shanahan has never lost.
Right.
To what's his face? What's his name?
Coach? Oh God!
How can I blank out on LA's coach?
Yeah.
Oh my! Shut this show down. God, a bunch of old flaws in here. God, it'll come to me within minutes.
It'll come in a minute, but that's and San Francisco played. Their defense is tough too. They got a tough pass rush defense. Their defense is very, very strong. Their offense has been up and down, and we'll see how they do on Sunday.
They got my boy George. That should carry him.
And the interesting thing,
Sean McVay.
They're now predicting
Sean McVay, please.
Sean McVay, and they're now predicting. He looked at, by the way, folks. He looked at.
No, well, I thought of it.
Hey,
I didn't even get to it.
KVFD. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Don McDermott.
Don McDermott.
No, that's the Buffalo Bills coach, Sean McDermott.
Sean McDermott. Yeah, we figured it out. Nevin looked it up or whatever.
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay
would be Rams.
Yep.
Okay. Are you there, caller? No, that's it. Yeah, well,
but
people have trouble staying on the phone. They might be recognized like somebody else I know over here.
Oh, cool.
we had a caller disguise his voice in the last.
I didn't disguise my voice. I can't believe you didn't recognize it.
Oh boy, well,
I didn't disguise your voice.
Cranebrook
knew who it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'll be
he's a much younger man.
Well, Nevin and I have a little bit of disagreement with San Francisco.
We're going to get to that. I knew you were going to go there, but
because I just don't think Garoppolo is good enough to get him to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, and I'm not a Garoppolo fan.
He's a good quarterback, but you look at the quarterbacks on the other team.
He plays hurt. He's been banged up.
He's a tough guy. Hey, I'm not taking anything away from the guy.
Here's his deal. I think he gets unfairly criticized and he's underappreciated. But he does every game. He'll pull a Brock Purdy out of there. He'll make a play. You go, what were you thinking? And I do agree with that. Randy will remind me of that. I go, I'm not going to disagree with that. He does. He'll do a Brock Purdy every game, and he'll probably do one this Sunday. It's just whether they can get through it or not. Otherwise, he'll make some great plays.
He's not going to be the greatest quarterback on the field, though. I don't think, and I don't think he's the greatest quarterback in this series that we're looking at.
I think he's a gamer, though. I do think
I can't argue with that. He's a competitor, sure is. But is he a competitor on the Stafford level? I don't know.
He's a gamer.
Yeah. Well, you got to be to play that game.
Yeah.
Well, he can erase all his doubters if he comes back on Sunday with a big game and they beat the Rams and he has a great game. And then just like Stafford did last week, the doubters like me may change their minds. But
yeah, that's right. We may all be sitting
part
here.
of my beef with Garoppolo is I don't think he throws the ball enough to Kittle. I think, he
that is kind of funny. That's been brought up several times before.
Do you know when Garoppolo's hurt, Kittle catches more passes by far when the backup quarterback's in there than when Garoppolo's in there. And I can't for the life of me figure out why that is. Because
I think Garoppolo's probably going for the big play,
right,
as opposed to settling for the short yardage and grind it out. And he's trying to hit the home run. I suspect.
Could be. And they've got a really outstanding athlete, receiver, and running back in that Debo Samuel or whatever.
He is so.
He's really good.
How do you take a wide out and turn him into a really
Running
good
back.
running back during the year?
Yeah,
I mean, he's really good. He does it all. That guy's phenomenal.
he really is. So
Yeah, by the way, it's perfectly all right for anybody to call in and take issue with anything we say here. 955-1400, 955-1400. I would like to remind everybody that the wrestling duel of the year is going on tonight. The University of Iowa Hawkeyes, ranked number 3, are taking on Penn State, Cale Sanderson and that group, and they're rated number 1. You look at those lineups on both squads, and they are stacked deep. And the Hawkeyes are going to have to surprise Penn State in a couple of those matches to win it. I'm keeping a good thought.
No, it really is. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, it's going to be quite a show tonight,
right?
In Iowa City.
It'll be packed.
Yeah.
And did you see the ticket prices in the paper today?
No.
Oh man, they're good, like $100 a ticket.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. That
Which
really
surprises me for. I mean,
is that in Iowa? I thought it was at Penn State.
No, it's in Iowa City.
Okay.
Yeah, and
good.
I'm hoping they in the lineups they had Ayala and then another guy
right
next to him, so they haven't decided if Drake's going to wrestle tonight or not. I hope he does.
I do too.
Oh boy, everybody does.
Yeah.
Around here.
They who did they wrestled? God, I only got beat, but what a performance! Last year at this time he was out wrestling in the Dodger gym.
Right.
Now he's wrestling the top wrestlers in the
He's
country.
beat 3 rated wrestlers.
Yes,
so
he
far.
has.
And the guy he's got tonight is his 6th year. He's a 6-year
Is he
guy,
really?
I believe.
Yeah.
You don't see many 6-year
If
wrestlers.
he winds up wrestling, I don't know what the deal is, why he wouldn't wrestle.
Only maybe because this guy's a 6-year. I don't know. And maybe, he got beat. You're thinking Ohio State.
State.
Yeah. He lost to
Tough
that guy who
wrestler.
was also rated.
Yeah.
It was a tough.
Well, he
wrestler.
lost the guy from Minnesota too.
Yeah,
Right.
twice.
Who was
Couple
rated
times.
higher
Yeah.
than him. I think the Ohio State guy was rated behind him. I think.
Behind the Minnesota wrestler.
No, behind Drake.
Drake?
Drake's number 11 now. Isn't he rated 11?
He's up there already.
Yeah.
That kid is just phenomenal. I don't care. What is he, 19 years old? He looks like a veteran. Of course, he's probably been wrestling since he was 6 years old.
Yeah.
At least.
Oh yeah, at least.
Yeah.
But that'll be it'll be an interesting meet, and hopefully Hawkeye will be rocking and rolling tonight.
There's
Carver
no
Hawkeye will
hope
be-
about it.
Yeah.
It'll be nuts.
It'll be nuts.
Jeez. I mean,
Did you guys see the Ohio State meet when Iowa was in town? Boy, they were rocking. Tom Ryan, the coach of Ohio State, was getting the crowd on his feet, and they were going.
I
crazy.
watched a couple matches. In fact, was it Marinelli got beat and then Kremer won? But yeah, I watched a couple. It was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Anyway,
It's
tonight.
a close match, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think tonight, wrestling fans, we got a lot of them in the area, that this will decide who's number 1 in the country and maybe who has the national championship too.
Nah, you're going to have to go out and win that national championship. That could go any number of ways.
You look at those two lineups and you ask yourself, I've asked myself, what other Division I wrestling squad has got that sort of lineup?
But you know what surprised
there's
me?
great wrestlers. Ohio State has great wrestlers.
What surprised me was I didn't think there was a lot of number 1s listed on either team.
Oh, there's a few in there, Randy.
There's especially
There's a
Penn
couple
State.
1 and 2 matches.
Yeah,
I don't know who they are.
there's a returning.
There was a lot of 2 and 3s and 2 and 5s and stuff like that. I didn't see a lot of 1s.
I think there
were 190 or whatever.
versus 2 matches.
That
I
Brooks
thought so.
kid is a stud for them. That's 190 pounder or whatever.
Yeah, they have a middleweight that's a returning NCAA champion who I can't
Okay.
think of right off the top of my head.
Explain this to me. They picked up a couple mid-season transfers
And
that
the
I
rest-
didn't. I just read that. And I
Really?
don't know a thing about it. Penn State did, which vaulted them up to number 1 over Iowa. Iowa started off the season number 1.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, arguably, they lost Lee,
Yeah,
but then I'm told they picked up Penn State did a couple studs mid-season. I don't know the circumstances. So I'm asking you two wrestling experts.
Well, it's painful for me to follow Penn State because
Okay.
Cale Sanderson was there, and I was a huge Cale fan when he was at Iowa State. I mean, just.
Well, you were excited when Pollard let him go. You were fine with that, as I recall.
Oh, you recall completely wrong, as you know damn well. I haven't liked Jamie Pollard since.
Yeah.
God, what a blockhead.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm just going to go to break because I can't even deal with the memory of it. Anyway, Nevin Mulholland, Randy Coolman is here, and we are going to talk sports.
Michael Devine, Nevin Mulholland, and Randy Coolman talking sports at AM 1400 KVFD.
By the way, just because Purdue beat Iowa in hoops, it does not mean Iowa's a bad team. It just means Purdue's pretty good. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom. With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning, hosting events, and supporting their customers. And now you can save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
I'm Josh Mason, KVFD News. The Warden Plaza in downtown Fort Dodge is back up for sale, now listed with the Des Moines Real Estate Company. This after years of sitting empty with none of the promised results accomplished by its current owners. The city of Fort Dodge transferred ownership of the building to KDG LLC of Columbia, Missouri in April of 2017. Fort Dodge Mayor Matt Bemrick discussed the issue yesterday on KVFD.
I don't believe we would pay them anything to take that building back. 7 council members could say, you know what, we want it back because we want to figure out where to go next with this building. So pay them and let's move on and get them out of here. Or they could say, no, we're not paying. I'm not going to speculate on what those 7 people would agree to do.
Since the time of transfer, the Warden Plaza's potential has continued to dwindle away. The property assessed value is at a little over $77,000, and the yearly taxes are just a little over $2,500 a year. The property is listed with CBRE of Des Moines with a price tag of $1.3 million. A Webster City man has been sentenced to over a decade in federal prison after pleading guilty to possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, 35-year-old Joshua Boyce was sentenced Monday in federal court in Sioux City for the charges stemming from a couple of traffic stops, the first occurring in March of 2020. At that time, police say he was pulled over for suspected driving under the influence. Once he was pulled over, officers say Boyce admitted to using meth and marijuana before work that day. A further search of his vehicle turned up needles, pills, marijuana, and meth. Then on October 18th, 2020, Boyce was pulled over in Ames, where police say they found drug paraphernalia, nearly $5,000 cash, a firearm, and a lot of meth. Boyce is said to have possessed with intent to distribute approximately 2 pounds of the drug. He was sentenced to 128 months plus 16 days imprisonment and must serve a 5-year term of supervised release following the prison sentence. And from Radio Iowa, there's another effort in the legislature to make it illegal for motorists to use handheld smartphones for any purpose while driving. A law passed in 2017 made texting while driving illegal, but drivers are still allowed to hold their phone to make calls or check navigation apps. Police say it's hard to tell exactly what a driver with a cell phone in their hand is doing, and Sarah Jennings of the Iowa Department of Public Safety says the current law is unenforceable.
We have to get phones out of the hands of drivers. It's become a scourge on our roads, and it's a lethal one.
From the Jerry Sheeter Newsroom, I'm Josh Mason.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD weatherology forecast. A mix of clouds and sun this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 15. Southwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows around 3 above. Tonight, mainly clear skies and quiet. 33. Tomorrow, mainly sunny. Highs around 24. Sunday, under partly cloudy skies. 39 Monday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 16.
All right, it's 4:35. This is AM 1400, KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. Obituaries this hour brought to you by the historic Bruce Funeral Home at 923 First Avenue South here in Fort Dodge. The historic Bruce Funeral Home and Cremation Services can be reached by calling 515-576-5117 or online at www.brucesfuneralhome.com. Carol Dillingham, Carol S. Dillingham, lately of Ankeny, passed away at the age of 73 last Monday, again at the Acura Healthcare Center. She had a battle with Alzheimer's. Services for Carol Dillingham actually were yesterday at the historic Bruce Funeral Home. And of course, Bruce Funeral Home served the family. Obituaries this hour brought to you by the historic Bruce Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 923 First Avenue South in Fort Dodge. You may contact the historic Bruce Funeral Home and Cremation Services by calling 515-576-5117 or online at www.brucesfuneralhome.com. We'll be back with Nevin Mulholland and Randy Coleman talking sports.
I'm Lauren Simonetti, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks rallied into the close and finished higher for their best day of the year, boosted by rebounding tech stocks as investors digested another crop of earnings results from big companies. The major averages ended higher for a roller coaster week as the Federal Reserve rattled markets by moving toward raising interest rates. The Dow rising 565 points, the Nasdaq up 418, S&P 500 up 105. And Apple, one of the Dow's biggest winners after delivering its highest quarterly revenue increase in the company's history at around $124 billion. This despite ongoing supply chain challenges and chip shortages. Shares of Chevron fell over 3% after reporting fourth quarter earnings that were lower than expected. Even as surging commodity prices lifted the oil producer to its most profitable year since 2014. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Biden's massive spending plan has expanded America's money supply and taken money out of your pocket. But you can fight back against runaway inflation by sheltering your IRA or 401k with gold through Birch Gold Group. This is Stephen K. Bannon, and I'm proud to be a customer of Birch Gold. Join me. Birch Gold has created a free info kit on protecting your retirement with gold in a tax-sheltered account. Just text the words SHELTER to 989898. Text SHELTER to 989898 and learn how to shelter your IRA or 401k with gold.
Cupids, hearts, and arrows, oh my! The General Store is full of Valentine's Day fun. Hurry into the General Store now and check out all the cute Valentine decorations and unique home decor. And if you need something red to wear for Valentine's Day, you'll find it at the General Store. From sweaters and hoodies to dress shirts and blouses, the General Store has something for everyone. And remember, everything at the General Store is always tax-free, and all proceeds go toward helping people in our community. The General Store, 12 North 25th, Fort Dodge.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents. And Doug.
Don't you just love the smell of old books? Shh, this is a library. Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance So You Only Pay for What You Need.
I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction.
He really does devour literature.
Please leave.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. With new strains of COVID on the rise, we can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they're accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
I got serious about staying fit just a couple of years ago. Now 5Ks, yoga, and smart nutrition are all part of my weekly routine. Part of my eating right plan? Country Hearth Breads. Natural breads with the whole grains and natural ingredients my body needs to perform at its best. Just a slice of toasted multigrain with peanut butter before a workout, and I'm ready to roll. Country Hearth is the easy choice because it's good for me and great tasting too. Country Hearth Breads, baking our best for you.
Michael Devine, Nevin Mulholland, and Randy Kuhlman talking sports at AM 1400 KVFD.
All right, we're talking sports, and we'll talk sports with you if you want to call 955-1400. I'm on StreamYard, by the way, or we're on StreamYard. So if you want to leave a comment on StreamYard, that's on my Facebook page, the radio station Facebook page, AM 1400 KVFD, or the Alpha Media website. You can certainly do that. All kinds of ways to play sports here today. As I said just before the break, Iowa's a good team, but Purdue's really good. Boy, they're really good. I saw most of the game, saw the end of the game. The Hawks did fight hard. McCaffrey stayed in his seat for the most part. He didn't go out screaming. But I did see his face was so red at one time. I saw it on the camera from across the court. But, Iowa just wasn't going to win that game.
Well, Purdue is really good last night.
They really are.
Yeah. Really good. The Thompson kid, Brandy and I talked about this day at lunch. I mean, this guy was 4-6 from beyond the arc, and he'd only had 6 3-pointers the entire season. And so he was good, but man, they've got everything on that team. Other than, I don't know that they really have a pure point guard. They really don't. But on the other hand, they've got what's my favorite player?
Ivy.
Oh my, what an athlete!
Yeah,
what an athlete, and he can shoot.
Yes.
I'm not talking about just running and jumping.
Yeah,
he can shoot.
You go out and try to guard him on the three, he's going to blow right by you.
Wow,
so he's a tough guard.
Oh, Iowa had nobody at that level to match up with him, including the brothers.
Yeah,
So,
well, yeah, Keegan's a little different kind of player, but
he's a different player.
But he was in foul trouble early. He had to sit most of the first half. Only had 2 points at halftime. Came back with, I think, 18 or 20 points in the second half, and that helped bring Iowa back to within 4. And then, if I remember right, we were down 4 with the ball. Came down, had an open 3. I think it was Bohannon. He missed it
wide right.
And they got a long rebound out. They went down, hit a 3. So instead of being maybe cutting it to 1, we were down 7. And then that's when they opened it back up to like 13. And
Iowa didn't hit a jumper for the last minute, 2 minutes. And they had good looks.
They did.
Honestly, they had good looks, and Purdue didn't miss. They didn't miss. They were really good.
They were really good. Their defense was outstanding. They're a good team, very good team. What are they, ranked 6th in the country?
Something like that.
I think you're right.
And they're so big inside that you really got to compensate for that. And then you're going to give up open threes when you do that. So they get you coming and going. And the only time that Purdue has been beat, I've watched them lose a couple of games, but it was when they were having bad 3-point shooting nights.
Well, that happens.
And that happens. And that's the only, when they're shooting the ball well, they're unbeatable. But they'll have nights where they'll go cold and then they're in a battle. But
they have the team that they can go inside all night long. Then
right.
I mean, is it Williams?
Williams, yeah.
Boy, is he good.
He's good.
He's deceivingly good. And then you've got Edey, who's 7'1",
7'4",
or 7'4". Excuse me. You're right. I mean, so it's really you got to guard them straight up. Because you can't leave these guys if they're hitting from the outside. Is it Stojakovic or whatever? He had a big first half.
Yeah,
and
he's a shooter.
Yeah, so pretty fun team to watch actually.
And they bring some athletes off the bench too that contribute. So they're deep and Yeah, they're a good team. I still think, even though right now they've got 3 Big Ten losses, I think they're going to end up. I think they'll end up winning the conference.
I did see
but-
that they had 3 losses, and I thought to myself, to who?
Well, they just got beat by Indiana at Indiana.
Yeah, I watched that game. That Indiana played well that night, I will say. And
Indiana, of course, was a powerhouse all those years, but I haven't heard or seen of them for a while.
They're pretty
now.
good this year. They're
Are
ranked.
they pretty good this
Yeah,
year?
they're ranked. Although Iowa beat them
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, but
You're right. They did, didn't they?
Yeah.
the other thing I'd say about Purdue is Matt Painter is probably one of the most underrated coaches in the country.
Yeah.
Easy.
And he's such a likable guy. I mean, you ever notice he just doesn't get upset. He's able to control his emotions, and yet his teams always play hard, and they're always very well coached.
But I've also heard him be very matter of fact in interviews.
Right. Yeah.
Even with his own players.
Mm.
Remember he had that issue a couple years ago. He had a couple guys transfer out. He wasn't happy about it, and he said it the way it was.
Oh, okay.
But no, he's a class act.
Oh,
I mean,
very
he
much
handles
so.
himself professionally.
Now, getting back, I will again say that there was a long shot, camera long shot of Fran McCaffrey on the court. I mean, across the court, and his face was just red. You could see
Last
all
night?
that. This is what you guys are talking about. Mellow coaches. Fran's not a mellow.
Oh
coach.
No, he's probably one of the most bombastic coaches in the country.
Yeah,
I mean, when it comes to just wearing your emotion on your sleeves.
Right.
Sleeve, excuse me.
Right.
But that's sleeves.
I never thought I'd say this, but I kind of miss Bobby Knight.
Well, you should be good with Fran then. Fran
Right.
is kind of picking up the laboring oar on that.
Nobody can really do it like Bob Knight, like smacking his own kid in the back of the head with a clipboard. Incorrect. Good. Is Bobby Knight still alive, or is he like Tom Osborne?
No,
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive, but
But-
he's got dementia. I think.
Yeah, I don't think
I saw him. They honored him a year or two ago in Bloomington,
Mm-hmm.
and when they had to walk him out, and he looked like he was not with it. So
Well, he's getting up there in years.
All right, so you guys, this is too much.
All right.
All right. So I have, I've read a lot of newspapers in my day. Des Moines Register, the Inquirer, and Philadelphia, the New York Times. I mean, all Boston Globe and criticism of coaches and whatever. There's an article today that just came out in the World Herald. I am telling you, they are on Fred Hoiberg
Ooh.
like you cannot believe.
Really?
I'm going to read you. Hasn't won a Big Ten game yet this year. Here are the quotes from Dirk Chatlin's article today. And I have never, ever seen an article be more harsh and personal, frankly, than this one about Fred. And I just put 3 points down because I can't read the whole article.
He's
to
a
you.
writer for who again?
For the Omaha World Herald.
Okay.
Yes, Nebraska's basketball's worst season between 1963 and 2019 was better than Hoiberg's best season in Lincoln.
Ooh.
Hoiberg has orchestrated a downright disaster.
Yowza.
Bringing
Calm down, Nebraska.
Hoiberg back would be an insult to season ticket holders. And that's just some of the article. Oh man, I tell you, it is unbelievable.
Can you text that to me or forward it to me?
I'll get the article to you.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
you would.
I wonder what he had to say about Frost then, because Frost has been a huge disappointment in the football program.
Well, but he even complimented Frost compared to Hoiberg. He said at least Frost gave us some hope the first year or two. He says Hoiberg not.
Wow.
Oh, and he's going on about and he's got an $18.5 million buyout.
Fred does?
$18.5 million buyout. That was Bill Moose's parting shot as he rode out of Lincoln to his ranch in Montana or Washington or wherever. He gave him another year or two and this big buyout.
I had nightmares of Fred Hoiberg showing up in Iowa with that Cornhusker uniform on or Cornhusker shirt, beating us all over the place. And apparently it's just not happening. I thought that was a good hire, actually, for Nebraska. A very good hire. I was a Hoiberg fan.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of Iowa State people would agree with you and really thought they wanted him back in the worst way. I think maybe you dodged a bullet. This whole thing in Lincoln is something else, and he's got to take responsibility for quite a bit
Iowa
of
State
it.
basketball for a minute. Otzelberger, he's kind of having a rough patch here.
They got a good win against Oklahoma State on the road. I mean, any win on the road in the Big 12 is good, and they're getting beat by tough teams. It's
there's no easy out in the Big 12.
There really isn't.
There really isn't this year. Every team is.
Well, they cruised to 11-0, and it just seems like it went downhill after that.
Well, they started having the Big 12 is really good this year, and you can't deny that. The team that's remarkable to me is KU. KU has won the last 3 games by 1 basket. I mean, they beat good teams, but they're winning all these close games.
They've got an interesting game coming up tomorrow.
Yes, they do.
Kentucky.
Oh, that's right. They are playing Kentucky.
But it's at Fog Allen.
Is it?
It
Okay.
is. Which it needs to be. I think it's a little bit of an equalizer because, I don't know about this Kansas team. I watch them. Abaji is terrific. Terrific. Their guards, maybe mediocre at best. And their 5, mediocre.
Yeah,
I mean, this is not a KU team that I've watched in the past. I go, man, these guys are loaded.
Yeah.
But they're winning ball games. They know how to win. And Abaji really is really good. Okay.
Well, Kentucky used to be one of the big names in basketball.
Still is.
Are they
They're
still?
good this year.
And they've had some disappointing losses, but I'm telling you, when they bring their A game, I don't think anybody, including Gonzaga, can beat them. They are really good, but they've been inconsistent and they've lost 4 or 5 games because of their inconsistency. But I've seen them play a couple games where they brought their A game, and my goodness, they were outstanding.
Really?
Now,
they lost their stud guard. What's his name?
Ty Washington's got an high ankles, or he's got an ankle sprain.
Yeah.
If he doesn't play, that will hurt them a lot. If he does play, I don't know if Kansas has got the horses.
Right.
I mean, in the guard court, they just I'm unimpressed with their guard play. Just unimpressed with Kansas. Yeah. But Kentucky, I think the thing about Kentucky and why they're inconsistent, they're all new. They didn't play together till this year. Now Davian Mintz played at Creighton. He's there for, he is now 32 years old. And no, he's in his 6th.
He's a mainstay for him.
He's been good. He ought to get it down by now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's his 6th year, I think. But the center's really good. The guy that came from West Virginia. They have a bunch of transfers, some good freshmen, and as they always do.
Yeah, they're good. They're very good.
Well, we're going to have to talk about Creighton. How are the Jays doing this year? They're Creighton boy.
We're okay. We're young. You talk about young guys that never played together. We can go out honestly, and I think we can beat anybody, and we can get beat by anybody. Kind of like Iowa State in a way. Iowa State's like that too. But we've beaten Villanova, we've beaten Marquette in conference play. They're the 2 best teams, along with Providence, in the Big East right now. And we beat Marquette at Milwaukee. Now we're lucky, really lucky, but we beat them. And then we lay a huge egg earlier this week against Butler, who's not very good. I mean, I think we'll beat them by 20 when they come to Omaha. Famous last words. But we're just a better team than them, and we sure didn't look like it at all this week. Of course, we were 2 for 22 from beyond the arc. We're not shooting the ball.
2 for 22.
Yeah, you cannot win ball games if you can't shoot. I mean,
that's just like Iowa State.
Obvious.
They've had shooting nights like that too and gotten beat.
And that's what I mean. We can get beat by anybody, and that's one of the reasons why.
I did watch a little of the Oklahoma State game with the Cyclones, and I'm glad, of course, the Clones won. But they look disorganized out there, or something to me. They just look.
Did they?
To me,
you must get you get ESPN Plus then.
I do.
Okay, I get it, but buffers all the time. I can't.
Boy,
stand it.
and it was horrible trying to watch the Iowa State game this week against Oklahoma. The buffering. I had the same problem. Golly, I don't know why. I don't know.
Well,
I'm
maybe
not
it was
smart.
the buffering. I don't know.
We need to sign a petition in Iowa to Bob Bowlesby saying, get a darn TV network so Iowa State and other good teams. I mean, Iowa State played Kansas, 2 rated teams. It was on ESPN Plus, for crying out
That's
loud.
embarrassing.
That's crazy.
That
They ought to
is
have their own.
They were playing Kansas, honey.
Huh?
I didn't.
I mean,
you couldn't because it's on ESPN Plus. I know you do have it, but yeah, That's nuts.
I mean, they ought to have their own TV. I mean, every other major conference has their own TV station or whatever network.
Yeah,
except the Big 12. Except the Big 12.
Except the Big 12.
Right. And so half their games are on ESPN Plus, and that night I think Harvard was playing Penn on TV and Iowa State's playing Kansas, and it's not on TV. I mean, give me a break. And I'm not even a big Iowa State fan, but I like to watch them and see how they do. And it's just ridiculous that they don't have a TV network.
Well, Iowa State used to have WOI all those years. They don't have it anymore. Terry Brent.
No, it doesn't matter. We don't get it anyway.
That's right.
You guys don't. I do.
I do too.
I do.
But like these guys on Dish or whatever.
Yeah.
Mediacom, aren't
Dish
they?
and Mediacom
Or
both
Mediacom,
don't have it.
Dish doesn't have it either.
No.
So I have Direct, and I'm the only guy in the room with. You have Direct, Nevin?
No, I'm on YouTube.
Oh, you went YouTube. Then.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of changing to Direct.
I'll warn you, though, I'm having all kinds of problems this week with buffering with YouTube. On one or two of my sets, I don't understand it. I'm not smart enough to figure it out. I'm
got to increase your bandwidth or whatever they call it.
We need this. We need Fort Dodge to get this internet service.
That's right.
I talked to David Furyk and the mayor about it. In fact, Furyk is probably tired of me bringing it up, but of course they came out with a new name and
the logo. It's exciting. It's great.
It is, and they got they're talking office space and all this time, all this. They believe some Fort Dodge residents will have it by the late this year, and probably it'll be finished in 2023.
Yeah, they got to lay a lot of fiber, don't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
A lot of work to be done, and I was hoping this year, but
eventually when we get that done, we'll be like Gallery then.
Or Lauraville.
Yeah, or Lauraville. That's right. Yeah, they're so far ahead of us with this high-speed stuff. It's crazy.
There's something about the size of the town. Like they'd let the little towns in rural areas, like we're not a little town in a rural area, but they'd let the Gowries and Lauravilles have this fiber. But when it came to a town Fort Dodge size, now Mediacom would go crazy. And of course, Mediacom sued
Webster County Calhoun Telephone Company is the one that supplies that down there.
They went. Yeah, I had Marcy,
for all those small towns in southern Webster County. Yeah.
I had Marcy in here.
And, they do a great job.
Yeah, they do. They do a terrific job,
and they give you a dividend back. I don't get a dividend back from my Mediacom.
It's a co-op, isn't it?
No, yes, it is.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they get regular dividends. God, what are we doing wrong up here?
Yeah.
Do we all need to move to Gallery to get
sports?
Well,
they're trying now. I mean, let's.
The city's
this is a big
up
project to try to do something like this in a town this size.
Yeah.
And isn't Cedar Falls the next biggest town that's attempted this?
I think so. Yeah.
So let's keep our fingers crossed. But it's ambitious and it's expensive.
Burlington's trying the same thing right now. Others are going to it. Yeah.
I appreciate the mayor and city manager and the council we've had for pushing this through. We've had some of the most do-nothing city council people on in the past, but this group seems to be moving things.
Yep.
This is a big deal, and I would give them credit. I mean, this is a big undertaking, and it's sorely needed in this community, though. Yeah. And so I compliment them for doing so.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we got something good going here in town in that direction. I wish we'd do something with the Warden Plaza, but that's another thing altogether.
I don't even want to talk about my rec center. Now that no,
that would those things are important.
I'm not happy about that.
Yeah.
So,
those things are important to our town, and
it is important.
Gosh, we just got a couple of minutes left. Can we squeeze in the Dodger basketball team in St. Edmund or wrestlers or anything?
Well, Dodger wrestlers have it's a CIML meet this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be as wrestling goes, maybe the best conference wrestling meet in the state.
Is that in town?
No, it's at Johnston. And Fort Dodge will be in the thick of it, but you got Southeast Polk, and they're number one in the state. So, Gales are you not much going on in wrestling. They play Humboldt tonight in basketball. Well,
that's right.
You got your hands full there.
Yeah, Humboldt's ranked and
really ranked. Now, I will say, St. has played them tough down here, and physically, we don't match up with them very well. I mean,
with Humboldt,
You
match up with Humboldt.
Humboldt, they're very good. Now,
Humboldt's been good for 50, 60 years.
No.
I wouldn't say quite that
we
far
used to
back.
have Humboldt's number for the last 50, maybe.
I think even Algona had Humboldt's number there for a while.
but they got beat by Clear Lake for their first loss this week. And
Yeah, I saw that.
Clear Lake's very good. They maybe have one of the better players, I'm told, in the state.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they've got a guard that's really a handful.
Wow.
But so
all right. So predictions for the National Football League games this weekend.
I'm going with Kansas City, and I'm going with the Rams.
All right.
Are we talking with the spread or no spread?
No spread, buddy.
Oh,
Just
I'll
go.
take Kansas City.
Kansas City and
the second one is a toughie for me. And I am going to go. You know what? I'm going to take the Rams. But here's what bugs me is that they say in the stadium, 65% of the fans in that stadium will be from San Francisco. And it was like that, if you'll recall, the last game of the year when they played each other.
That's right.
It was a pro San
It's going to be a
Francisco
home
crowd.
game for San Francisco.
at Arrowhead Stadium.
No, in L.A.
LA.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And by the way, one of our city council members just texted me and said the reason the rural areas have that extra support for their broadband is because they're federally subsidized.
Right. Yeah. It was something like that. I knew.
So,
all right. Devin, Randy, thank you for being here. Have a great weekend. It's 5:00. The news is coming up. This is AM 1400 KVFD in Fort Dodge, Iowa.
Hi, this is Gary Rima, the voice of the University of Northern Iowa Panthers, and this is the home for Panther Sports, the voice of Fort Dodge, KVFD, Fort Dodge.
More than 70 million people in the bullseye. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A massive winter storm bearing down on the East Coast. Winter storm watches and warnings up from the Carolinas to New England. New York Governor Kathy Hochul is advising people to make their final preparations now.
Beginning 8 p.m. tonight, we'll be under a state of emergency. And what that does is it gives us the extraordinary powers that we may need for additional purchasing of equipment or transferring individuals, personnel.
New York's Long Island could see snow measured in feet, and parts are under a blizzard warning. Forecasters say Cape Cod, Massachusetts could see over a foot of snow. That's not even the biggest concern.
We're talking about 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible here on the Cape. We have coastal flooding concerns. Then we have those snowfalls coming in, those gigantic snowfall totals, all also in the Boston area as well, seeing this winter storm warning for that area as well.
Fox Weather's Will Nunley on Cape Cod. In Virginia, Governor Glenn Youngkin has declared a state of emergency and says resources are ready in case trees come down. Thousands of flights have been canceled, and Amtrak has suspended service between Boston and New York effective tomorrow. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says Russian President Vladimir Putin has the power to ease tensions over Ukraine.
There's no reason that this situation has to devolve into conflict. He can choose to de-escalate. He can order his troops away. He can choose dialogue and diplomacy.
Russia has denied plans to invade despite assembling tens of thousands of troops near the border and in Belarus. President Biden was in Pittsburgh this afternoon for a planned visit hours after a bridge collapsed to talk about his infrastructure plan. The president said the incident highlights the need for upgrades. Wall Street, the Dow gained 564, the NASDAQ plus 417. America is listening to Fox News.
This is a crime alert from James Finch, former Assistant Director of the FBI's Cyber Crimes Division.
Your home's title is the only document that proves you own your home. And now cyber criminals are able to forge our names off our home's title and claim they own it. It's a nightmare crime. Watch a video of a former cyber thief who now trains police, show how it's done, and how Home Title Lock could have stopped him. Visit HomeTitleLock.com/radio. HomeTitleLock.com/radio.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed, plus special financing. Ends Monday. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
I'm Josh Mason, KVFD News. The Warden Plaza in downtown Fort Dodge is back up for sale, now listed with the Des Moines Real Estate Company. This after years of sitting empty with none of the promised results accomplished by its current owners. The city of Fort Dodge transferred ownership of the building to KDG LLC of Columbia, Missouri in April of 2017. Fort Dodge Mayor Matt Bemrick discussed the issue yesterday on KVFD.
I don't believe we would pay them anything to take that building back. 7 council